Hello, I'm John Tigg and welcome to Index Exchange, Innovators Unscripted. I'm joined today by Nick Halas from Dentsu. Nick, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks John. My name is Nick Halas. I work at Dentsu within the Amplifi Global team and look after product solutions.
Wonderful. Let's get right into it. So Nick, how is Dentsu rethinking the ad tech stack and what role does the supply side play in that transformation?
I mean, that's quite a big question for us to unpack and possibly to unpack quite quickly, but we know at the moment there's a lot of transformation going on the supply side, right? I think the way that we've always considered the programmatic kind of ecosystem, I think we're at a point in time where we're rethinking and reimagining what that solution really looks like. And obviously in the partnership that we have with you guys, it's enabling us to consider, which is actually, there are some dynamics within the supply side that can allow us to extract stronger performance, speed, and capability to clients. And that's possibly creating like a bit of positive tension, not only in our organisation, but I think in the industry as well. But I feel like we're on the start of a journey now, which is we're re-evaluating where should we be, and I think the supply side is going to be an absolutely pivotal part for us to kind of play in that.
It's exciting times.
Indeed.
All right, let's keep moving. So, what made Index the right partner for this phase of your programmatic strategy?
I mean, look, first thing is around metrics, right? In our organisation, we obviously do a lot of work across a lot of suppliers. We do quite intense RFI analysis to ensure we are with the right partners for the right reasons. I think we certainly from an EMEA perspective with Index, there were some really big opportunities that you've been kind of working with, some of the reach that you've got. But if I'm honest, like a lot of it stems in, which is we're all about a win-win when we talk about publishers, or our suppliers in particular, right? And fostering this relationship where you need to win and we need to win out there. And our clients ultimately at the end need to get the biggest gain from all of that. The closeness that we've had on collaboration, I think is always something that resonates really strongly with Dentsu. We are an organisation that typically has always sought out strong partnerships where we generally are working side by side. We're not trying to create tension with you. We're trying to go, right, this is a problem that we both mutually have. How do we help solve it? And I mean, that's what's been the most receptive for us in the work we've done with you guys today.
And of course, a wonderful team on the ground in EMEA.
They sometimes help.
All right, question number 3. So, look, you're all in on sell-side decisioning for curation and custom targeting. Why does this model resonate with Dentsu, and how are you seeing it unlock new value? Big question.
There is a big question. There's a term in Dentsu that originates obviously from our Japanese heritage of Sanpo Yoshi, which is about this value for all mechanism. Right? And I think that's acts as quite a good kind of bubble to kind of consider sell-side decisioning, right?
Yeah.
Ultimately, what our clients are seeking is fair market value, performance, but then speed as well, because the macroeconomic climate of today means they need to be quick to resonate with consumers, customers, etc., etc. As I said, I think we're at a point where that sell-side capability is enabling us to harness and foster quicker adoption of new methods. I know obviously we will talk about AI, and there's quite a lot of work I think that we're doing in that space which will ingest into the sell side function. I mean, that's the point where we're like, if we get that right, I think we can reevaluate how we've been doing things, and everything's always an evolution, right, in this journey. And I mean, like that's the bit that we get excited about, and that's why we've got to crack it, and make it work. But we're almost there, right?
Yeah, we're right at the beginning. Such an exciting time, and kind of so much innovation ahead of us.
Yeah, agree.
So we have similar views on creating solutions that drive growth for all stakeholders, a little bit like what you were just touching on. So how do you approach this in your partnerships?
Well, ultimately, there's 3 factors, right, that we need to get to. One is, ultimately, it's got to work for our clients, right? In terms of what they want and need and their pressures. They're intrinsic to us as much as they are to you. 2, it's got to work with the partner, right? As I always said, we have to foster a win-win mentality, right? You need to have the same views, or we need to have the same shared common ground principles to make sure when we go in on a partnership, we're looking at it to stay.
Yeah.
Like, the worst thing we can do is try and squeeze too much, create tension, and then we never really get any further.
Yeah, the kind of win-win.
And then there's also the commercial element, right?
Yeah.
Which is, it has to work for us all, right? We're all businesses, right? And the only way for us to grow and innovate is to make sure it's working for all of us. So that trifecta,
Yeah.
when that works, we're in a great place to get going.
Very clear. Okay, question number 5. So how are you tapping into AI to boost performance today? And what do you think that will look like in the future?
Oh, dude. I might go
crystal
opposite.
ball.
I might go opposite and kind of go future. I don't know.
Okay.
I think it sort of feels like we're at reception year at school.
Yeah.
Again, where we're really understanding the principles of how to write language or understand math structure.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And there are far more intelligent people in my organisation, yours, and a lot of other partners that
Yeah.
we're dealing with that can probably relate and have the vision of where it is right now. Ours is really about the fundamentals because it has to work for, in our opinion, for tomorrow
Yeah.
for our clients, right?
Yeah.
If we spend too much of our time just focusing on what's it going to be like in 12, 18, 24 months, we take our eye off how do we actually make the metric in AI work for our clients
Yeah.
tomorrow? Because it's impacting their business, and their business is designed for tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the work that we're obviously doing with yourselves, Halas is a very close partner of both of us that we're
Yep.
respectively working with. That is genuinely enabling us to think completely differently. I mean, I've taken a great joy speaking with a lot of your product teams in the last sort of 6 months of understanding how the ad container relationships begin to work better, how
Yep.
we can optimize to go even faster, how the speed of control enables us to take bigger decisions with more inventory mass. All these metrics are new,
Yeah.
right? They didn't exist when we spoke 9, 12 months ago, right?
Yeah.
So I think we're learning, we've got to test, adapt, evolve. But I mean, it's really exciting.
Absolutely, and look, I really like your analogy about this being kind of the first year of school. I mean, we're learning. I think we're understanding really the application of how to make it practical, and to drive scale through it, to actually make it real.
Yeah, absolutely.
And very excited about all the things that can bring to us.
Yeah.
Okay, question number 6. What's one piece of advice you'd give to marketers trying to get more from their programmatic strategies? One piece of advice.
Sometimes just to pause.
Okay.
Pause and reflect. I think we're like the world of marketing services. It moves fast at a chaotic pace. It just being can, and you'll understand that more than ever. Which is sort of feels like it's hard to catch up and keep the pace of it. Pause and reflect, so we can really work out: is this working, and what do we really need to change?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we can get caught quite quickly, and we're guilty for it as well, which is we're just considering what's got to come next, But sometimes just pause and reflect.
Yeah.
Take a moment to kind of go, actually, should we consider something else?
Yeah.
Because there normally is something else.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really good answer. Okay. So what excites you most about where programmatic is heading right now?
More than anything is change.
Okay.
So I think I'd like programmatic. Programmatic has moved faster than like most things. We evolve always in a faster generational speed every single time that we move, and programmatic's been a great demonstration of that. But you really could argue before that word AI crept into every industry roundtable, probably 2 years ago. The pace of change is now faster, but it sort of feels like the dynamics on how the programmatic landscape works.
Yeah.
And let's look at a Loomscape map for some of that. There's probably more tension that's going to come into it. There's more consolidation that's definitely coming into it.
Yeah.
But it feels like it's a changing point, right? And that, when you work in our industry, you've got to be ready for change because the pace of it is quite violent at times.
Yeah.
But that's also quite exciting, right?
Yeah.
Because we're all trying to find the next best thing for our clients to adopt and win in a new way. And it sort of feels like we've got a brand new menu coming our way.
Yeah.
To kind of go, right, here's a new recipe of how we do it. And that's exciting.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
No, look, I think we've been sort of expecting this disruption, like you said, for the last couple of years, and it feels like it's upon us. I feel like it could be a really positive thing for the industry. You know, not just sort of change for the sake of it, but something that's going to make the whole ecosystem better.
I mean, without, again, regurgitating the sort of Sanpo Yoshi kind of element, but that value for all metric, I think that's really important.
Yeah.
You know, we're big believers, which is our supply and our publishers have to win and succeed, right?
Yeah.
If we want to foster great relationships with them, we have to be delivering for them. But again, the other tension point, obviously, our clients have to win as well. But it feels like that change is getting to a point where it's going to get closer.
Yeah.
In terms of how they work together, and the relationship will be like reevaluated or rebalanced, really.
Yeah.
Versus, I think at the moment you could probably argue they're too far away and they're too removed, actually, and there's too many forces in the middle, which are some are working and some aren't.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a period of change that goes on us and goes. It will be a bit easier.
Yeah.
But I think people will see more value from it.
Simplifying and rebalancing, you know, we totally agree.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you, Nick, for a wonderful interview. And yeah, thank you for watching Innovators Unscripted.